Welcome to Exhale with Sonia, a space for stillness, strength, and stories that heal. Breathe in, breathe out, hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe. Let's go on a journey.
Welcome to Exhale Podcast by me, your host, Sonia Stockert. Today I have one of my friends, Miss Sarah, as well as one of my yoga students.
Yep.
And she's here to kind of help guide us through the confusion of nutrition. Now, first, before you tell us about your story and about this program that is so amazing, I want you to share a little bit about yourself. So you have a background in nutrition.
Yes, I got my bachelor's degree in 2013 in nutrition sciences, and I was going to move forward into dietetics and become a dietitian. And I had found out that my degree was not ASCEND accredited in the state of Florida, which was obviously a huge hit, big bummer. So I did anything I could to kind of get in the field, from selling supplements to making meal plans and X, Y, and Z. And then in 2020, I went through ISSA and became sports nutrition certified, on top of certified in weight management.
Nice.
Making meal plans, helping people with their weights, and making healthier swaps, doing healthier options and stuff like that. And I've applied a lot of that to my life as of now, but as of lately with this program I've done and that I'm going to be talking about, it totally flipped me on my own paradigm. Like, all the things that I thought were healthy that I was doing, it turned out were causing me personally so much inflammation and so much, heaviness. And then now, being over 40, that weight comes on and stays on, and your body changes. So
It does.
And this program really caters to that woman over 40 that feels almost kind of hopeless, hormonal, stuck in themselves, to not feel good in their own skin and not be comfortable. Right. And they're looking to, Ozempic, they're looking to some of these GLP-1s. They're looking for this outside source to help them lose weight, instead of putting in the time and the work. It should be a slow, steady loss pace. It should never be a quick fix.
Right.
So it's revolutionary, and it kind of brings you back to nature, is where we're kind of going with this. It takes you back to your primal roots, your ancestors' roots and stuff like that. So,
and that's what really sparked my interest, hearing about the ancestral roots.
Yes.
And primalness, because even with a lot of the movement that I do personally through my classes, it's a lot of primal movement. Mm-hmm. And it really is something that's missing in our culture.
Agreed.
For our health and well-being. Personally, nutrition as a trainer is the hardest thing for me. Mm-hmm. Give me the weights all day long. I love lifting, but just getting that accountability and hearing your story that you share on your Instagram, it really perked my interest, because this seems like something that is very accessible. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of accountability along with that. So share some of your struggles. I mean, because you are educated in nutrition. Yeah. It was, you do the meal plans, the meal preps, everything. You've worked with women over the years. What was your struggle before you found this program?
I had become the heaviest I'd ever been as an adult. And I will preface it by, my son left for the military, which it was right after graduation, and it hit me really hard emotionally.
Yeah.
And emotionally, and that's where a lot of women, we're moms, we're caregivers. So to have that piece of your heart just up and taken away, was like a shock to my system. And I really think that's where this started for me, was the weight gain. I got really depressed. I was sitting and resting a lot, and I would do really heavy lifting too.
Right.
And so I was doing heavy workouts, wearing myself out, making myself completely exhausted, but still being depressed.
Right.
And I never had eating problems. Like I eat to nourish. I don't eat to I don't stress eat. If anything, I stress starve,
Right.
which is still not better, but
It's actually, when you stress starve, it's actually a way of regaining control.
Yes.
And it's something that a lot of us women do. Personally, myself, it's easier to move through life when you actually have control of one thing. And I think eating is one of the easiest things to just set to the wayside and say, I'm going to control this and not eat, and that will help everything else. But in reality, it is hurting us
Right.
even more, because
And
we need that nutrition.
It's so true, because you control your kids in the household, you run a household, and to have a piece of that missing, and it's like, oh, you're not needed anymore. But this was something I could control.
Right.
And it's funny because when we get into the program, I can discuss this a little further, but I never had problem eating healthy. I was doing the right things.
Yeah.
I was doing all the right things. And I say that in air quotes, right things.
Like things that a nutritionist would prescribe for you, or write for you.
Exactly. So I don't eat dinner after 5, 6 o'clock. I do the intermittent fasting. I do the sauna and the cold plunge. I had been doing all of those things anyways, the right things.
Yeah.
So it was getting to the point where it was very frustrating. And the one picture, it's funny you bring up my Instagram, because I keep really quiet. I keep really low profile on social media. I don't post much of anything, a random pic of my kids, a random something or another, but I never put myself out there. I don't like putting my face out there. I'm really self-conscious. I'm uncomfortable in my own skin. I'm very...
You were.
I was, yes,
Yeah.
I was. But so I've always had that self-confidence in feeling ridiculous in front of a camera. I like taking my selfies and whatever and putting them on Instagram. I'm that's not me. It's never been me. I'd go on a 6-month hiatus and it wouldn't change my life at all.
Right.
So when I started to get the results, and when you started noticing and seeing it, it was wow, I'm confident. And I don't care about the likes. I don't care about the other things, but it was just I have to talk about this.
Yeah.
I have to tell people about this. And Candy, who runs the program, she is very vocal, and she's all over the internet. And that's how I found her, was through Instagram. But she was very brash and forward, and and a lot of what she said made so much sense. And I'm well, I'm kind of already doing that.
Right.
So I don't need the program. I don't need it. I'm doing everything right on my own. Well, apparently I wasn't. Apparently my body likes her way, not the way I thought was right.
Right.
So, yeah, that's kind of a roundabout way to dive into that.
Right, definitely. And I love that it changed your confidence.
Yeah.
And brought you able to show yourself on here. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you did,
Thank you.
because I will be posting in the reels your befores and your afters,
Yes.
so people can really see the difference, and you continue to talk about it, and you continue to see results. It's not a one and done, it's a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And this program seems like it really helps to jumpstart you on that lifestyle change.
Yes.
And teaches you as you go. So it takes the guessing work out. My first question for you: what inspired you to take control of your health and start this journey?
I had seen another reel of hers, and I had told my husband, because I was bartending at the time, if I make X, Y, and Z money this week, I'm buying this program. Because it was January. My son we had taken him to his station in Pensacola, and I was wearing these yoga pants, and I saw a picture of my face, and I was like, when did my face get so round? So I was telling my husband, I have to hear more of this. I have to understand more. And I did the master class, which I highly recommend anybody doing. You'll realize then if it's for you or not.
Okay.
But so I I was very determined. I'm doing the master class, and if I make X, Y, and Z money this weekend through this day, through this date, I'm buying it. And he said, okay. He's like, you do you, and it's for your education and to help you. And if you think it'll work, then I support you. I'm all in for you. And so I did. I made the money, as I said I would, and I went for it, and I bought the program. I did the master class, and I loved it, and I knew I needed to know more.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I already do that, and I already do that. So how is this different? What are you teaching me differently? And it did. It really taught me differently.
And furthering your education is important because
Yes.
everything's ebb and flowing, everything's changing and moving. Everybody's, strength and weaknesses are moving. So even diving into this as your profession, as nutritional support, like this could even make you better. So you were investing in yourself from the beginning.
Yes. And I didn't ever think of it that way until later on in the program, when I'd mentioned a few things to even some coworkers or a few people. I had said something, and I was like, gosh, you are like really under eating protein. Like, you look frail. No, I don't. And it was like, oh my God, like I can use this, and I can go on from this. And
Right.
yeah, I mean, it is a step-by-step thing, and we can discuss further, but there's so much more to it. And it was just like an aha, like the first week, even it was like,
That's awesome.
yeah,
A lot of women undereat protein.
it is insane. I mean, I was under eating it probably tenfold. And I thought I was doing well.
It's not something that we're really educated in either.
Right.
Like you think about men and they want their big muscles, so protein's very important to them. But, women are supposed to be more daintier, but we still need protein.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, protein is the basic building block of literally everything.
Yeah.
Your blood, your bones, everything. Everything comes from amino acids and protein. Everything.
That it does.
So, and it's extremely thermogenic. Your body will utilize so much more of your protein than it will of any other macronutrient. It's useful. Your body uses it, and the proof is in everything that this program is.
I can't wait to hear more about it. Another question I wrote for you is, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced physically, mentally, emotionally, like along the way? And you kind of shared a little bit of that in the beginning. So maybe we can just start here.
Sure.
How the program started, like your first 2 weeks. What did that look like
Sure.
to you?
My first 2 weeks, it was standing on the scale every morning, which I don't agree with, but I get it now. I get why she has us do that for the 12 weeks. And she even says in videos, get rid of your scale, throw it out the window. I mean, she uses a little more vulgarity.
Of course.
But
I listened to her podcast.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
She's great. Very real, very raw. But so I was like, why is she making me do this? Like, this is torturous. Because you see, like, the heaviest weight you've ever been, week 1, day 1.
Right.
And it's like, ugh, I'm never going to see this weight. Like, okay. Ugh. That feeling comes over you. I'm even getting sweaty thinking about it. Like, that whole emotion.
Discouraging.
And then, so what she has you do is you order ketone testers, and we do this. We start tracking your protein, no calories.
Can you explain to my listeners just what the ketone testers are?
Yes. So what you do is it's almost like a blood sugar test, but when you are eating low carb, high protein, and you're trying to burn fat, your ideal source of energy are ketones. And what you do every morning, about 30 minutes to an hour post waking up, before coffee, before food, she highly recommends not drinking coffee, but I drank 1 cup every day. because I love coffee. That's
Love
one thing
coffee,
I
too.
am not giving up, and she can beat it out of me as much
Right.
as she wants to,
Right.
but that's one thing I'm not giving up. I've given up a lot of other things,
Yeah.
which was easy.
Yeah.
So maybe someday, Candy, maybe someday. But
Not today.
Not today. Not today. Anyway, so before you do your coffee, before you do anything else, obviously water or lemon water is fine. And once you're up and moving some, you test your ketones. And what you do is you prick your finger, and it's just a little dab of blood, and you take the tester and you use your test strip, and you ideally in the program she wants your ketones between 1.5 and 2.5 because that is the optimal form of ketosis in a healthful way. Anything more, you can get into like the ketoacidosis, you don't feel well, it becomes unhealthy.
Right.
So you want it within a certain range. At one point, mine got dangerously high, and I had to drink apple juice. We can get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. That's down the road. So you test your ketones in the morning, and you see what your numbers are and see what you do from there.
Right.
And so I got to a point, even through the program, my ketones were always good. My ketones were always high. I was always burning. From the time I started testing them till week 11 and a half to 12, my ketones were optimal. So I was very lucky in that sense, but I followed everything so perfectly
Right.
into the T that other than a few things with timing, I didn't see how it wouldn't work. And I had not a ton of weight to lose, but enough to lose to where like I'd be burning.
Right.
So, what was the original question? So I tested the ketones.
Right.
You just put a drop of blood, a little
And
poke.
there are also the urine strips too.
You can use, I bought the urine ones as well.
Right.
And that is a good point. And the ones I got were relatively accurate. They're just a little harder to read. When you test your blood, it's a little more thorough. It's a little more cut and dry.
Yeah.
As to like you hold the test strip up and you're looking at the thing like a pool tester.
Right.
You're looking at it, you're like, well, that could be 1.5 or that could be 3.
Right.
It looks like I'm gonna go 2 today. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, it's a guess.
Yeah.
It's in a range, but it's a guess. So it's not as accurate as the blood.
Right.
So,
And people who have done the keto diet,
yes.
they are very familiar
Yes.
with the ketone test because that's a part of that as well.
Sure.
But that shows how important that is to kind of test, and also accountability.
Right.
And the more we talk about the program, that will also show the accountability that you have for the program.
Yes. So, so we weigh ourselves every morning and then we test our ketones. And again, I had problems with the weighing in.
Yeah.
I did not so much have problems with the ketones because my numbers were always perfect. So I'm like,
Got this.
okay, I got this. I'm doing great.
Yeah.
FU scale, I'm doing great.
Yeah,
I'm doing great
exactly.
otherwise.
Yeah.
So, and I would get in the amount, per the week's homework. I would do, every week. So say we're starting week 1 into 2. I'm learning we're going through the videos. We're learning the modules. We're learning what ketones are. We're learning what insulin is. We're learning, blood sugar. We're learning. It's like taking a college class. It's
love that.
It's fantastic. Like
Yes.
I could not be more thankful to how thorough she is, but not so thorough to where if you're not sciencey, nerdy, have any idea what even a macronutrient is, it's not
Right.
It's not like, oh God, this is overwhelming. Right. She breaks it down so perfectly to where it's easily absorbed and digested. No pun intended.
I love that.
for any user.
Right.
Any user. So,
And education is important to be able to follow something. You kind of need to know what's going on.
Exactly. So the way she does it, and then you cannot print the homework out or do the homework if you're not a printer and writer and you're a digital person.
Right.
You can't access it until you're done with the modules. And I love that too,
Yeah.
because I could not work ahead. I'm like, oh, I kind of knew all that, which I did. Week 2, I was like, okay, this was a refresh for me.
Right.
I knew all that. Let's move on to week 3. No, Sarah, you have to wait.
You gotta wait.
You have to wait your turn.
So is there anything that, like, I know you said the scale kind of like made you a little hypervigilant looking at that number?
Mentally wrecked me probably the first 7-8 weeks, not like a lot of it.
Right.
And even talking to the coaches, like, you know, we'd get on the Zooms and you raise your hand in the Zooms, and they do such a good job of answering your questions. There are a few different coaches, and they each kind of help you. Like, this one helps from week 1 to week 2, helps get you started.
Yep.
This one and this one, the 3 of them tag team weeks 3 through 7, and then Candy takes on week 7 through 12, like, and then the Babes, which is moving forward. If you decide to pay and move forward and keep this lifestyle and you're happy, obviously you move forward for more information, the Zooms. So I had even gotten on a Zoom and raised my hand. I was like, what gives? My numbers are great. Like, I don't understand. Like, but this weight is not coming off. Like, I'm not losing weight. Like, Susie Q over there has lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks, and that's amazing. And here I am, and I've lost 4 in the last 4 weeks. Like, tell me what gives here. And they were just always so kind and so compassionate and so informative. And they literally would walk you through, we'll do this, maybe up your protein, lower this, get a little more movement, try another fat. Like, they just were so great about everything. And they held your hand. Like,
That's what I was going to say.
They really do.
They hold your hand and really walk you through that. And a lot of people need that.
Yes.
Not just accountability.
Right.
But really just that hand holding and the education.
Yeah.
And so that's something you would jump on weekly calls or daily calls?
There are, so in the Primal Bod program, it is 12 weeks. And in that 12 weeks, you get 3 Zooms a week.
Okay.
They do 3 Zooms a week.
Wow.
Not too many people do that.
No.
Each coach is run a Zoom, as I was saying, and
these are interactive Zooms.
Yep.
They're not pre-recorded Zooms.
Nope. They are
That's
all
awesome.
Amazing. And so, which a lot of people really need. And I did, but unfortunately with my schedule, I was only able to go to like 1 a week. Okay. It was like I would clear my schedule and Wednesday nights, and I'd be sitting there and I'd work all day, and it's in Central Time.
Yep.
So we're in Eastern Time, so it's an hour behind, and they're like, okay, it's at 7 o'clock. Well, it's 8 o'clock for me, and I go to bed by 9:30. I'm like this on some of the Zooms, like, okay. Like, I'm trying. I'm here.
I need my coffee.
I'm trying to stay awake, but I would be present and show up. And then on the Facebook group every morning, and it's great because on the weekends they don't let you post. They're like, you know what? We're taking the weekend off too. And I love that too. It gives you time to assimilate what you learned all week, practice what you've learned all week, and be able to implement it moving forward. And I loved that. And then she gave the coaches get a break too. Yeah. You know, they live their lives too. It's so attainable. Everything's so attainable. And I just can't say enough about it.
Right. I have another question. Why did you decide to be so open and vulnerable about your journey on social media, which we kind of already touched on, but really you're very passionate about this because you've seen results.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's hard being a woman over 40, and like, you put yourself in this bathing suit, and she encourages the before pictures.
Yes.
And the measurements, obviously, but always take the pictures. And I was dead set on not taking them. Right. I was absolutely like, I am not taking before pictures. I'm not going to play the game. I'm not doing that part of it. Right. And my husband's like, oh no, you're taking pictures. You're doing all this. Like, and he took them all for me. Nice. And I said, I don't want to see them. I did not look at them. Yep. I said, I don't want to see them. I don't want to look at myself in a bikini right now. Right. I don't want to see it. Hold on to these for me, and when I'm ready and when I finish, I'll put on the same bathing suit. You can take my picture again, and we'll go from there. And I did, and that's exactly what I did. I did not look at them. I didn't see them. I didn't want anything to do with those before pictures, but I'm so thankful I took them, because you see them throughout the program, and in the masterclass, you'll see the before and afters. And then when people leave the Primal Bod Zooms, the Facebook page to go on to the Babes Facebook page,
That's when you're complete of the 12 weeks.
The Primal Bod program is the 12 weeks.
Yeah.
And so you take your befores and you take your afters.
Right.
And you compare and you basically show off what the program did for you after 12 weeks. So
now your testimony is helping others.
I hope so. That's my hope, my dream, my aspiration, because I get where her dream came from.
Right.
I mean, her husband is a type 1 diabetic, and she talks about it very openly. She talks about their experiences and how she learned insulin. And insulin was, I mean, he's a type 1 diabetic. His pancreas is shot, you know? So there are so many things they have to do to manipulate homeostasis for him.
Right.
And she's like, well, wait a second. If he doesn't have a pancreas, but like, how can we get people who do back into insulin sensitivity instead of insulin resistance? So it's again, we can talk all this,
which is saving you in the long run.
In the long run, yeah. So it was just like the pictures, and like I put them on the Facebook group and to say my goodbyes and my thank yous, my off scale wins, my on scale wins. You post your stats, you post where you're at,
right,
and then your results. And when I took my pictures and I put on the bathing suit, and you look at yourself every day.
Right.
You don't see necessarily the progress.
You're usually the last one to see the change.
Yes, yes, my pants felt better. Yes, I went down in sizes. Yes, I felt better in certain items of clothing, but to actually stand in a bathing suit and like turn, and like in the one picture I turned and I was like, oh my God, my abs. I was like, and I work hard on those suckers.
Yeah.
And I have for years. Like, I had a lot of muscle underneath the inflammation and fat, and that's probably why I didn't lose a lot of fat. I had a really good baseline of fitness and nutrition beforehand. So that's probably why I just fully recompositioned my body instead of just burned all this fat. Like, I didn't lose a significant amount of weight, but I did fully recomposition my face, my body, everything recompositioned instead of like just fat burning and like, you know. So when I saw the pictures on the Facebook, I was like, oh my God. And I post anything, and I wasn't going to. I was just going to. Yes, I know. And so I put it in the group only because it was private.
Right.
And Mike was like, wow, like it's incredible. And then I had made a few friends in the group along the way. One I'd worked with a long time ago. I saw that she joined before I did. And this was back when I was in Ohio. I mean, it's been 15 to 20 years since I've seen her.
Wow.
And I saw that she did, and her results were fantastic as well. And I was like, oh my God, hey. And I kind of messaged her on the side, and then I'd met somebody else, and she was ahead of me in the program as well. So when I had questions or advice in the Facebook group, wasn't like when my ketones went really high and I didn't know what to do. I'm like, what do I do? I'm traveling. Like, I don't know what to do. So she was very helpful.
You had that extra accountability.
I did. And so when I showed them the pictures, and the feedback was just outrageous, and I'm like, if I feel this good, if I'm this confident, like imagine other people who are already quasi-confident in themselves. Like, and I'm not, and I wasn't, and I just did it. Just on a whim. I just did it, and I was like, you know what? I hope I can help at least 2 to 3 people. If that's it, if that's what I can do through her and through Candy and through this Primal Bod program, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And it's so important to take those before and after pictures because like you said, you usually are the last one to see results.
Yeah.
My online clients, here's your testimony.
Listen.
Do it. Take the before
Take the pictures.
I tell them, hide them in your phone. Just like you were like, I don't even want to see them. I don't want to look at them. Yep. Hide them in your phone, and down the line, we're going to pull those out, and you are going to be able to see in black and white your progress. Yeah. It is a beautiful thing.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's amazing. So I am glad I did it. I'm glad I put myself out there. In the moment, though, I was literally, I wasn't doing well. I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is not me. This is not who I am. I'm not a Facebook post. I'm not a social media person at all.
Yeah.
I actually hate it. And I'm like, okay, well,
now look at you.
Things are changing.
Exactly. I love that. Keep it up. Keep sharing that, because you don't ever know who you might inspire by one of your posts.
True.
I appreciate you talking about that, because pictures are very, very important
Very.
to see
Very.
that progress.
Very.
What kind of changes have you experienced since starting inside and out?
Okay.
We've talked kind of about the outside
Yep.
appearance, how you look. How do you feel inside?
A lot more clear,
Good.
a lot more mental clarity, a lot more obviously confident. I'm sleeping better, which
That's
helps
good.
a lot.
Sleep is very important,
It's
especially
incredibly
for recovery.
important. And, you know, I'm doing different kinds of workouts too, which we'll talk about, the primal movements and stuff like that. But I'm doing other workouts, so I am a little more exhausted, getting in the sun, trying to enjoy and embrace our Florida sun more
Yeah.
than I normally would, but I just love it. I feel so much better. And in the program too, they talk about like off scale wins. I went to the dentist and they're like, "What'd you do with your mouth?" I'm like, "Nothing. I make my own toothpaste. I don't use fluoride. I don't use mouthwash.
You make your own shampoo.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
that. You do that.
Yeah." So she's like, "What'd you do different?" She's like, "Your gums look so much better than 6 months ago." I'm like, I didn't do anything
that
different. I said
inflammation?
I do floss. I do floss.
Right.
I'm one of those nerds.
It's good.
Floss your teeth. It makes a
Floss
big
your
difference.
teeth.
But anyways, but like I do. And she was just like, "Wow, your gums look amazing. Like your mouth looks amazing." And I'm like, "Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much."
Yeah. Thanks for noticing.
Thank you for noticing that I did nothing different with my mouth.
Right.
But yeah, and that my face, like, it's, again, structural changes, that's not inside. But yeah, lots of confidence, lots of
And confidence can be the umbrella over a lot
Yeah.
of how you feel, you know, the way you show up for your family, the way you show up for your friends,
Yeah.
the way you show up for your job. That's a game changer.
It
just
is.
creating that confidence in yourself.
And then I can't even say enough about how much more energy I have.
Oh, I
don't
like that.
I don't crash. Coffee does cause crashes, Candy. I hear you. But I'm not crashing.
That's
I do
awesome.
not like have the energy crashes. And it was crazy because between week 5 and 7 or 8, I don't remember. But I had to nap.
Yeah.
And I don't nap. It is very weird because I'm such a high strung, hyper type A kind of person. For me to lay down in the afternoon and rest is like, are you dying? Are you okay?
Right.
And yeah, I'm great. I just feel so tired. Why am I so tired? It was my recomposition happening.
Yeah.
It was all my things going to where they're supposed to be.
Right. And you talk about a lot about week 7, week 8. Like, this is a progress moving forward.
Yes.
It's not a quick fix that's going to happen
No.
in 1 week. This is a healthier way to bring you back into where you're trying to get to.
Yes, slow and steady.
And it takes a while to put the weight on, too.
It
You
does.
don't
It
put
didn't
on weight
happen overnight.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen like that. And so, yeah, it is a progression. Week 1 and 2, you kind of learn the stuff and you step on the scale and you get comfortable, try to get comfortable stepping on the scale, learning to take the right measurements, ketone testing and whatever. And then from week 3, you start moving forward with skipping some dinner, you know, but nourishing yourself, high
Right.
protein, and we'll get to that. But it progresses
Yeah.
throughout the 12 weeks to where really it's through 6 weeks. Week 7 to 12 is basically, I was lucky. I got both curriculums, like
Okay.
in the same 12-week time frame. I was very lucky in that aspect because once my week 6 was over, it was like, oh, we're going to update and change.
Right.
So week 7 through 12, I got the brand new curriculum. It was basically like I never left week 6 and was never left to my own devices, redoing week 6 over and over again until I
Right.
got sufficient at it. I got to, and I feel very blessed to have.
Yeah, to step into that.
Yeah.
What makes this approach feel more natural and sustainable compared to what we talked about in the beginning of things that you've tried before?
Sure. I will say that I have never done a diet program before in my life. I have never been one to take pills. I've never done the quick fixes. I've never done a fad diet, the keto. I am gluten-free, but I get very sick with gluten.
Right.
And I found that out years ago. I mean, blood tests, x-rays, MRIs, like it took a whole lot to figure that one out.
Right.
So that's beside the point.
So this is gluten-free.
It's
friendly program.
Yeah, very much so. Very much
There's
so.
a lot of people that are not able to eat any gluten.
Oh yeah, it's crazy, and I get anything touches anything, and I'm pregnant looking, I'm inflamed, I'm in pain. It's a whole thing. But it's great because it takes you back to basics.
Yeah.
And this is where like the ancestral, natural stuff come in, because I'm all about natural as much as possible. It's eating meat, and like there's a list of foods that like she gives you. She hands it to you and says, here's this protein, this is okay to eat, this is not. You know, there's like a whole list of things. So basically it is high protein, low to no carb, low to some dairy depending on your body.
Right.
Non-oxalate high vegetables, super non-toxic. It is a very non-toxic, very simple, very it's very simple. That's the best way I can describe it. Way to eat. It takes you
resetting your body.
Yeah, it takes you back to nature, back to our ancestors when we did hunt and gather, and we ate nose to tail. We ate what we were given, and then, you know, after we feast, we fast, because you don't always get a kill, so your body has to adapt to that. So your body has to adapt to that way of eating, that way of life. So it's great, and like nothing is Meatwise really is off limits. You find out what works for your body, what doesn't, what's inflammatory for you, what isn't for others. But she gives you the list, and you basically go from that list. And I used MyFitnessPal to calculate, because it's a very easy tool, super easy, user-friendly tool to calculate protein. I don't count calories. We do not count calories. She pretty much forbids it, but I did find myself with how much protein I was eating.
Right.
I wasn't hitting maybe where I should have with calories, but I was full. I was nourished. So, and it is the most thorough and nourishing and filling natural way to lose weight that I have found ever. And, you know, is it all the time you're going to be no carb? No.
Right.
I mean, obviously, like for Mother's Day, I had a piece of cheesecake because my husband makes amazing cheesecake. And it was one thing I was looking forward to. Before the program, I never really had sugar cravings. I'm more of a savory person.
Right.
I'd rather have a salty, buttery bowl of popcorn or a steak over a cookie, cake, ice cream. I've never been like a sweet eater. Yeah, I'm more of a savory person. Right. But once in a while, to have the little bit of something, live an 80-20. I'm more of a 90-10 person. I'm very structured. And then 10%, I made this carnivore ice cream that tasted like butter pretty much because I didn't add sugar to it. Okay. And I put 5 dark chocolate chips in it. Kill me, sue me. I went totally off the beaten path. Like, you know what I mean? It's not a big deal.
No. If
it's
that
a
makes
90-10.
You eat what is going to nourish your body, then let's do it.
Like I did it one time. I mean, on the whole program, I stayed exactly where I was supposed to. Sometimes I ate more protein than I was supposed to for my size. A lot of times I ate less. And I will say the biggest and most, and I hope people who hear me understand that it was so hard because I traveled the whole time.
Okay.
So a lot of women, it comes up, I don't know what to do. I'm going away for 4 days. I'm going away. What do I do? And it was funny because when I started this, my daughter plays travel volleyball. And she played at a high level this year. And we were in Kansas City. We were in Louisville. We were in Atlanta, Tampa a few weekends.
Yummy food places.
Oh my gosh. So from February when I started, we had just gotten back from Pensacola visiting my son. And then every week through April, I traveled. So I did this while traveling beef jerky became one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And
Protein.
high protein, and I had the support. I had the Zooms I could listen to.
Yeah.
I had all the YouTube videos that she posts that you can listen to. I take less supplements now than I ever took before.
Nice.
It is getting back to nature and keeping it simple.
Is that what that ancestral nutrition is all about? Is really just getting you back into your roots, into how we used to live.
Yep, getting back to nature, how we used to live, the hunter-gatherer stage and age, eating fermented foods.
Good for your gut.
Was super good for your gut. Like the one picture I posted, I said I feasted and I didn't bloat. Like, I mean, I can put down 600.
What a good feeling.
Amazing, especially for me. Like, I put down 700 calories in my breakfast, and I was like, I didn't bloat. Like, you could see that. You could see like, and that's why I left the picture completely unfiltered.
Right.
I was like, you can see every stretch mark. I just ate my freaking weight in turkey and eggs and whatever in my ferments, and I'm full.
Yeah.
I'm nourished, but I don't feel sickly. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel any of that stuff. So.
And that deters a lot of women from actually eating, from getting that bloating feeling and feeling like that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so me as a trainer, this question is big.
Okay.
Are there workouts?
Yes and no.
Okay.
We'll say that. We'll say yes and no.
Tell me more.
So there is movement with the program. It is suggested, and some people don't even do all these movements. Okay. I did every one of them because it's who I am as a person.
Of course.
After every meal, you do 40 squats. Yep. 40 squats. At first, I was like, oh, this is terrible.
Right.
At first, I was like, oh, 40 doesn't seem like a bad number. After week 2, I'm like, oh my God, the squats. You know?
No more squats.
But now I'm up to 100 I did yesterday after breakfast.
Wow.
Just sitting there rolling,
and
doing my squats.
It just becomes part
of it.
Yeah.
So meal squats, because it helps with those big muscle groups, helps that insulin, it helps the blood sugar. I mean, as a trainer, it helps all those things. And then a few 30-minute walks a day after meal walks and walking. And then she highly recommends a weighted vest, which I had one. Okay. It was my son's, and I'd been doing that anyways. I would randomly put it on and go for a 3-mile walk anyways when I didn't feel like doing anything else.
Walking is so good and so underrated.
So underrated. I walked so much. And like when I was traveling and we didn't have gyms, we were at these tournaments and we were at this tournament and I'd be like, oh, all right, well, she's got a break. We're gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, set your timer, 30 minutes. Let's go. And we would walk and walk and walk and walk. And then starting, I think it's either week 3 or 4, you can do like 10-minute legs, 10-minute abs, just 10 minutes. Keep it simple.
Okay.
Until you can start incorporating sprinting. Sprinting is part of like the ancestral way too, because you'd use the Dr. Sean O'Mara, who I have to give him a shout out because I heard him first. I mean, I'd been following Candy, but then I listened to him on 2 or 3 podcasts, and his information just blew my mind. I will have to give you his information. You have to look him up.
Yes.
He's fascinating, but he uses like MRIs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So part of the program.
Scientific proof.
Yes. Like right there in front of
yes.
you. And so incorporating sprinting, it burns that deep visceral fat that's around your organs, which is the bad fat, which is diseased fat.
Right.
And so I worked my way up because I would do 5Ks prior to.
Right.
And I hated it. I hated the long distance.
I am not a runner.
Me neither. But I
do like sprinting.
I love sprinting.
Yes.
And I didn't know I loved it until recently.
Well, I guess you would think back to our ancestors. They had to sprint to go hunt, to chase an animal.
And then,
so that's something our body primally has been in our systems for generations and generations and generations.
Yes, and then it's like you get going and you get started in that whole, like if you're using your form, right, which you're a form person, you're a trainer, getting the arm swinging, your arms weigh something.
Yeah.
When you're going at full exertion, going forward, your abs are twisting. Mm-hmm. Your legs are pumping. Like it's a full body workout. Heart rate's going crazy. You do 10 bursts of 10 to 30 seconds, you're done in like 8 minutes.
Now, are these programmed into the program?
Yeah,
for
like
daily
you work your way
things?
up to it.
Yep. You have the meal squats, and then as you go, then she starts to add in with the nutrition, these daily sprints,
Yep.
and some extra stuff as you go.
Yep. And sprints not every day, every
Right.
other day.
My question, it just
Sure.
popped in my brain, do you work out on your fasted days? Because we're going to talk about
Yeah.
the fasted days, but do you work out when you are having your fasted
Yes,
days?
I work out fasted.
Okay.
I always have.
Yep.
And that's something I cannot work out with food. I feel yuck. I feel sluggish. And I've been that way since forever, since I've ever worked out on
Right.
and off. I didn't know after I had my kids, I lost 52 pounds after, like all the baby weight.
Yeah.
And it was like eating the chicken breast and the broccoli and the half cup of
Measuring it
rice
out.
and measuring everything and just exercising. So I've been
Right.
exercising forever. I've
Yes.
always incorporated something, even if it's just walking.
Right.
So it's progression in this program. It's like, okay, we'll start with the meal squats and a 30-minute walk.
Right.
Okay, well now we're going to skip dinner today and you're going to do a walk instead. And then we're going to progress to, okay, we'll do a 10-minute leg, a 10-minute ab once this week, 10-minute leg once this week, a 10-minute ab once this week, your meal squats, your walk. Okay, well, we're going to start sprinting. We're going to start implementing sprinting, whatever that looks like to you. Some
Right.
people, come into the program, oh, I've had my knees replaced. Oh, I've had my hip done. Oh, I've
Right.
had back surgery. I have injury. I have plantar fascia. I have any
I'm glad
and
you
all the
brought that up.
things.
Yeah.
I have any and all the things. What do I do?
Right.
If you have a bike, get on a bike.
Right.
And you just exert as fast as you can, 30, 40 seconds, or whatever that looks like to you, and slow down. And then swimming, there was another one about swimming, like going as fast as you can. And then
Swimming is also underrated.
very underrated
Yes.
because it's like so good for all your joints. It's good. That movement is fantastic.
Yeah.
You can't beat that. And then like a rowing machine, like there are machines, there's things you can do to implement sprinting,
Right.
whatever that looks like to you. You have to just meet yourself where you're at.
And a lot of the people that probably show up into this program at first are probably pretty sedentary when they begin.
Yeah.
So adding that in slowly and not the first week, like you're sprinting, you're doing this, you add that in as you go. So I like the sounds of that.
Yeah, it's definitely great. And you see some of these women who are like crazy, like bodybuilding, gym rat, like those kind of women who are like, well, I just want to tone up and I just
Right.
want this, that, and the other. And there's one in particular, I forget her name, but she shows her in the master. She shows her a lot. And I love that because like her results are so profound because she was bodybuilding and she didn't look as good. She went down to working out like lifting heavy, like once a week and just implementing the primal movements.
Right.
And she looks better than ever.
Wow.
She looks fantastic.
That's awesome.
And it's just the sprints. I'm telling you, like it really, and once I started I got myself up to 10. You can do 5 and still get sufficient work
Right.
done. And I'm up to 10 just because I was always active prior to. So me doing 10 feels like a full workout to me.
Yeah.
But again, it takes me 10, 15 minutes on top of, body weight stuff. I'm not lifting heavy weights anymore. I was doing, 40 pounds front loaded squats and I was doing, these kettlebell workouts and I was lifting heavy and it was the picture I think I posted from December. I'll have to show you or
Okay.
bring it back up. But like my arms and my face were all like, I was lifting heavy weights and I was like, I'm crushing it. I'm doing great. I'm up to, 12 pounds, pushing it over my head each hand. And I'm up to, X, Y, and Z. And I'm not losing a freaking pound. I still look inflamed. I look swollen. What's happening? So keeping it more simple, keeping my movements and my workouts, push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups, planks, meal squats, sprinting, and then a little weights here and there at the classes I go to that I'm
Yeah.
going to be teaching.
nice. New personal trainer coming up.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Whole life change.
Welcome
Changed
to
my
the
whole
team.
life. Thanks
Yay.
so much. But yeah, I just implemented the more simpler, functional
Yeah.
movements, and it worked. It's done wonders for me.
Right.
It's
And-
done wonders.
Like powerlifting works for some, calisthenics works for some. You just have to really figure out as you go what works for you.
Yeah.
Also, when you're working out in a high stress cortisol level state, sometimes you just don't see the results because you're just so stressed over here and everything's not lining up.
Right.
So this is a surefire way to kind of them hold your hand and walk you through it. Just bringing that up, what does it look like in a day? So say, does your day start on Mondays? Because you said you kind of have the weekends off. You still have accountability through the weekend in your meal plan. And then how does each week it resets and then you have a whole plan for the week? Or how does that look?
Are you talking about during the program or after?
Let's talk about during. Yeah. Doing the program itself, the 12 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm a very schedule-oriented, regimented person.
Right.
I thrive in schedule and like routine.
Yeah.
And so I would start on Monday because I would take Saturdays and Sundays I was traveling.
Yeah.
I traveled the whole time during this program. It wasn't until the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then actually that's not true because I went to St. Pete with some girlfriends the one weekend because it was like, oh, finally no volleyball.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to the beach.
Girls' weekend.
Yes. So I traveled.
Ooh, speaking of, do you drink alcohol on this?
I do not. I had a problem a little bit with alcohol when my son left.
I guess.
And so come January, it wasn't serving me anymore. Good. I was just laying around and I'm not a drinker to like get drunk. I'm not one of those people that like can pound alcohol or take shots or go party. No, I drink 2 drinks and I'm like sleeping.
Okay.
So, which is a really good problem to have.
Yeah, it is.
So I can't go party.
I'm the complete opposite.
Yeah, I almost envy those people because it's like, I just want to have a good time. But I'm better off without alcohol if I want to do that. So
is that something that she pulls out of the program?
No, actually.
Okay.
She would actually, I can't say preference. I can't say what she would say.
Right.
But like when she in the tutorial videos, when she's going over like what to eat, what not to eat, certain teas to not drink because of the oxalates and whatever, talks about how like a gin and club soda or a vodka and club soda, like obviously don't drink beer.
Yeah.
Don't drink anything.
Drink 40 of them.
Right. Or wine with the sugar. Whatever.
Don't get sad, ladies.
Yeah, come on now. And
you can set the wine aside for a while.
Yes.
For your well-being.
Yes. I highly advise it. And so she does recommend, if you want to drink, if it's something that you have to want to do, a drink or 2 a week, a few times a week is okay.
Okay.
As long as it's not affecting your numbers.
So it's not like give up everything you love, all the things.
I mean,
it just works.
It wasn't for me.
To your lifestyle.
I think so. Right. I personally think so. Some people need sweets and junk food and cookies and cakes, and I was never like that.
Right.
So I didn't have to give up. I don't have food noise, and I know that's a big problem for a lot of people. They have that food noise, and this is why they run to the pharmaceuticals. They run to that kind of stuff because the chatter's always there about whatever it is.
Food noise.
And the food noise is really, it's so hard for some people, and I sympathize with them because that sucks. It really does. So I think with this program, you get so full by eating so much protein and meat and everything on the food guide. I mean, and as long as you have the protein, you can sprinkle around any extra vegetables, ferments, blue cheeses, like you can sprinkle on anything else to fill you up as long as you're getting your protein goals.
Right.
And I was so full some days and it was like, oh God, I only ate 1,000 calories, but I can't eat another bite.
Right.
Like, oh God, I'm like grossly under eating, but it's like, well, no, I'm not, because I'm full. And I'm not dropping pounds. I'm not emaciated. I'm not super skinny.
Not tired.
Not tired. Right. So it's like, oh, well, I mean, I guess it's enough.
Yeah.
I guess it's enough. So.
What your body's needing and that. And still respecting yourself and knowing that I am full.
Yeah.
And.
Listening.
Yeah. Listening to your body. A lot of people have the hunger cue problem. Like when you're full to stop. We live in America where binge eating is the thing.
Yeah.
And do you think this helps teach you to learn those hunger cues? Because you keep repeating, I was full. So your mind is starting to be like, okay, I don't have to keep eating and eating and eating.
No,
that's really cool.
It does, and especially on like, so in the beginning, in the first few weeks, there are skip dinner days.
Okay.
For me, I didn't have a problem doing that because when I was working, I would be done eating by 3 o'clock anyways, and I'd work all night long. If you're done working at 11 o'clock, don't eat at 11 o'clock at night. Like,
Right.
it's just not good for your system to sit there while you're, I don't know. It just,
and usually 11 o'clock eating are usually not really good choices.
No, they're going to be bad anyways. But I was thankfully never had those issues to where I was like, I was starving. No, just drink extra water. Just
Right.
keep drinking it. Put a little bit of lemon, lime, orange, whatever, some salt in your water. Get really hydrated. And that's another thing is hydration
Keep
on
yourself
this.
hydrated, yeah.
You just, when you're skipping dinner, when you're skipping meals and you're doing it intelligently and you're doing it intently.
Yeah.
You having intent for what you're doing is so important. When you intentionally are skipping your dinner, listen, I had high protein for breakfast. I had steak, I had eggs, I had whatever you had. I had shrimp, whatever it was that you ate.
Right.
I am not starving.
Yeah.
Sure, I feel hunger. I feel these cues. But am I starving to death? Absolutely not.
Right.
Go get some water, drink a chamomile peppermint tea, or some hot lemon water or something. You're gonna be fine. You're just gonna get through it.
Kind of cool. You can use that time to meditate
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
And sit with those feelings, and that helps. Do they hold your hand through that? Because I'm just thinking about all my clients and how skipping meals is hard.
Yeah.
Is there someone kind of there directing you, like, hey, you can do this, or something to kind of like encourage you through the meal skipping?
Yes. Oh, that's what I said before too. They are all the coaches, every single one of them, and Candy, like the Zooms are available. The Facebook group is available. You can go back to any Zoom, type in you can go into the archives and you can type in a certain topic.
Okay.
Fasting,
Right.
whatever it may be, and you can listen to a Zoom when she talks about it. So it's almost like she's teaching you. If it's a Saturday night, it's your choice to skip dinner that day.
Right.
So you have to own that choice.
Yeah.
And I think that's super important. And you can put Candy in your ear or any of the other coaches, and you can listen to why it's important.
Yeah.
And I think that is such a
That reminder.
useful tool. And everything she puts in the program is such a tool, and it is such a hand-holding tool, and it's so supportive. These ladies are amazing. They're every single one of them. I can't say enough about them. Like the one helped me when my ketones got really high. I was like in panic. I felt awful.
Right.
I felt terrible. And it was after one of the sardine fests. I gave it a try. It was really gross. Some people love them, and some people really thrive and eat them. I can't. I did 36 hours, and the last few bites.
Do you just eat sardines?
I air fried them to make them crispy, and I just ate them.
Wow.
And I got, and every day I did it, my ketones were soaring.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about them, and I know she does explain it throughout. You get really good DHA. It's really good for your brain, because I didn't feel extra hungry. Like I actually felt more full eating those than I did anything else. But by the time I got to the next day, my AM meal, I reached out and I was like, can I eat like salmon or something instead? I cannot do this. I got that last one in my mouth and I'm like, just stay down. I was dying. Like, it was really bad.
My dad would do really good with that.
Some people love them.
Ew.
Ew.
He ate sardines so much as a kid.
Oh,
and
wow.
Like, why?
Yeah. So, but it honestly, like, I will say, like, after I did it, I was like, oh, wow. And
Right.
a few pounds here and there would come off. My ketones would soar. The fat burning was kicked in. And it was like, I felt good, but I was like, I can't stomach this.
Yeah.
So I did it again in week 10. So I did it the first one, week 5 or 6. And I was like, I don't know if I can do that again. And Mike's like,
there's other options.
There's options, yeah.
If you like sardines, hey, there's a sardine fast.
But it was It was rough, but some people love them. Some of these women eat them every day, and that's great.
Yeah.
If that's what you like,
power
fine.
to you.
More power to you. But
A lot of very good omega-3s.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The good,
Yeah.
such good brain health. Super
Yeah.
great for you. So it was great because the one lady, the one coach, was like, okay, 1 day's enough for you.
Right.
Like, just because I was burning. Again, my
Right.
ketones, I had never had one single problem. And like, my numbers were always so good, but my ketones were up to like 5.4 or whatever. And I had a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Because she said, oh, coffee helps with, will mess with your numbers. I'm like, well, that was one cup of coffee down. Didn't do a thing.
Wow.
So I had another one, which was, no, and I usually don't have
Right.
like
More
a lot.
than one, yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, I feel awful. Like my vision was doing this like weird funky thing. I was feeling like, when your blood sugar drops and
Yeah.
like you're shaky, but it was like that, but not the same.
Right.
It was, I can't even describe it. And I'm like talking to my husband and I'm like, something's wrong. Like
Right.
I am not doing okay. I need something. So then I checked my numbers again. They didn't come down at all. And I'm
Right.
like, I don't know what to do. I need a carb. I need something.
Right.
And so he ran down to the hotel lobby because we were traveling and I didn't have my normal stuff. I would have had a little bit of Greek yogurt. I would have had a little bit of kefir, which I drink a little bit every day because it's good for your guts and
Yeah.
whatever. It's highly suggested to drink every day. And I didn't have that. I had nothing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not doing well. I don't know if I can go to the courts today. Like
Right.
I'm not feeling good. So I
But
had
there's
some
support for that.
yeah. So then I drank some apple juice and I finally was like, and I hate apple juice. I hate juice.
Really?
I'm not a sweet person at all. Like
I'd
I don't
rather
like
eat an
juices.
apple than-
I'd rather eat an apple
Yeah.
too. So I drank some of the juice and I got about that far into it and I gave the rest to my daughter. I'm like, I can't do this. But I felt better. I started to like slowly
Yeah.
come down and they never came down to like that 2.5 range for 2 days. Like they burned like up in the high 3s.
Wow.
But I was able to function. I felt
Yeah.
better. And the more I ate, the more like I worked it out. I'm like, so I reached out to the coach. I'm like, oh my God, like that was bad. And she's like, okay, 1 day is enough for you. I'm like, oh, thank
Yeah.
God, because sardines are gross. Like that was terrible.
Yeah.
So my smart self decided, you know what? I'm not losing the weight. I'm not losing weight like everybody else is. Like I'm not losing the 15, 20 pounds. I'm going to do a sardine fast again. Same thing. I got to that
Sardines are your enemy.
30-hour mark and I was like, I can't do this. I was like, well, salmon it is. And I'll figure out life from here. Like I can't.
I could eat salmon all day long.
all day, no problem. But just
But I need
even
mashed potatoes
just
with
even
my
thinking,
salmon, so.
thinking about that, I can't. Like I'm getting all skeeved out on myself.
Ew. Well, that brings me to how has being part of the Primal Bod community helped you stay accountable and motivated? So the support, obviously.
Yeah, yep. The support, the coaching, all the staff she has on either were friends of hers, family that she's trained and coached, or her instructors themselves.
Right.
Excuse
Have
me.
these people all done and
Yep.
followed through with her program?
Yep. She does. She is certified, board certified in nutritional like therapy. Like
Okay.
she was
Oh,
teaching
cool.
doctors. Like this is where
Wow.
Candy's background comes from.
I wish nutritionists would teach more doctors.
They need to. It's important.
Yes.
And so that's just kind of where her background is. One of her coaches is one of her instructors. One of her coaches was in class with her. Another one went to the same school. One of them's her sister. I think that's everybody.
Gotta have your sister on your
You
team.
gotta have your sister on your team.
Gotta have
I
your
mean, that's
sister.
super important to have your sister support you. You know,
Right.
it's a
Oh,
big
yeah.
deal.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, she has all of these wonderful women she's coached or have coached with her, and so everybody is aligned in everything.
Right.
Everyone follows it, lives this way, looks healthy, acts, feels the part of this, and it's incredible. They do. They hold your hand through everything, and it's so educational.
That's awesome. So is this primarily or all based for women? The science of the women's bodies?
Well, it's funny that you say that because it is primarily women. It is
Yeah.
all women run. Well,
Yay,
no,
women.
that's not true. Sorry, Sean. Sorry.
Oh wait, there's one guy.
And Tom, Candy's husband, Tom, who is
Okay.
great, and he pops up all over the place, and he's got such good energy. Like they're
Yeah.
such good
Supportive
energy.
husband is very important when you're running a
her son
business.
does some of the IT stuff, and again, I'm not going to go deep into their stories because that's theirs, but it is a family. It is like a family run, well oiled machine, and it is based on women because she's like, women, I have it for you. Like I've cracked it. I've cracked the code. And there is a men's group.
Okay.
And it's funny because my husband started seeing what I was doing. Yeah. And it's funny because I complained the whole time that the pounds weren't coming off, but he's seeing the changes in me.
Yeah.
He's seeing my face.
Yeah.
He's seeing the pants. He's seeing the outfits, like a little peek in the shower, like, okay, Sarah, like, damn, like you're doing great. And I'm like, I didn't lose weight. I'm not doing great. You're doing great. So he started implementing this too. And I have a picture I can show you too of him. He's lost, I don't know how much weight he's lost, but he's lost inches too. His whole face looks different.
Wow.
So he's starting to implement some of the stuff too. He's a little more lenient than I am. He's more of a dude and will go get a burger and go eat the bun and eat the crap that comes with it. But he's like a weekend warrior, like to hell with it all on the weekend, and I'm gonna drink my old fashioned and have my burger. But he's been nothing but amazing and supportive through all of this.
That's
super
awesome.
supportive. He's been incredible.
Yeah, you got to have that support.
Yeah.
Especially working with different nutritions and changing the way you eat.
Yeah.
And what did you say? Cutting down some carbs.
Yeah.
We might not be the nicest.
Yeah.
As long as they understand.
Right.
We're doing this to better ourselves.
Right.
We're showing up for ourselves. And, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's really good.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what would you say to the woman who feels like stuck or tired or unsure if change is possible for her? Because this seems like this is really like a very well drawn out 12-week, hold your hand, inform you, everything black and white. You have shown me some of the stuff that you're able to print out. Like you can hang that on your bathroom mirror or your refrigerator. Like this sounds like a really good program to just get started.
It is like one of the most, as I said, I've never done a weight loss program before until now. But even like some women jump on the program to not lose weight, but to recomposition their body anyway. Some of the real skinny minis that want to get bigger or get healthier, get more muscle tone, like they join the program. It's not necessarily what I've found out. It's great for weight loss. It's imperative for weight loss.
But that's not all it brings to the table.
No, it actually, as I said, I didn't lose that much weight. I really didn't, but my whole body recompositioned. And I see that and know that and mentally feel better about that now. Like my goal weight, I still have 5 pounds to lose to my goal weight. But again, that's relative at this point because I'm fitting in all my things. My clothes feel good. I feel good in my skin. I look good. So, those 4 pounds, I'd like for them to go, sure, because it's like that competition in myself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm really okay with where I'm at now too, because I look good. I look strong. I look confident. I got a little nice tan going on, but like my mouth is healthier. As we said, my nails are healthier. My hair's not falling out like it was.
Right.
Like there's a whole lot of things that have changed. And if I'm talking to any women out there that are questioning, or it's expensive, or it won't work for me, like I thought that I was that woman,
especially having the knowledge that you have in nutrition and fitness and everything that goes along with that.
Naturally was skeptical. I naturally was like, oh, I can't. The first time I saw the program, it was over a year ago. And I was like, I cannot afford that. Okay. But I wasn't, again, a year ago, I wasn't having the problems I started having starting last August, September, and the weight wasn't coming on quite yet.
And the inflammation.
And the inflammation.
That's what
really
caught
bad.
my eye on what you shared was just the way you shared that inflammation, because I know so many women suffer from that inflammation.
Yes. And so I would honestly say this is one of the best investments that I have absolutely seen when it comes to bettering your health. And if you don't have your health, you have nothing.
No.
You really don't anymore.
Don't.
Like, it seems like most of this country is fat, sick, nearly dead, distant, out,
Keep preaching.
they're all out of their minds, medicated.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it's no way to be. It's no
No.
way to be. And like, and again, a shot is not going to fix you. There's a whole lot of problems that come with that. So, and that's just, it's not studied, and it just makes me crazy that people are so willing to spend this money on a quick fix when you can do this,
With food.
invest in yourself once. It's one payment.
Right.
I mean, unless, I know that she has payment plans, but like, it's one payment, less than probably one of those shots. And you get so much knowledge.
Yeah.
You get so much information. You get fully nourished. You get help. You get support. You get coaching. You get classes. You get hand holding. You get all the information you could possibly know. And then it leads you down to more information. It
Yeah.
leads you to so much like-minded people that like took this journey, took this plunge, and are so happy they did. It's changed so many people's lives, mine included.
Right.
You know, mine included.
You're very, very adamant to talk about this.
Yeah.
So this is something that's very near and dear to your heart.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you just, like, it has to be out there? Like, this is an important piece of information. Like, we touched on a lot of different things, and this program sounds like it could really help a lot of people.
Yeah. I just have to reiterate to the women that you are not stuck. You are not
No.
meant to feel so uncomfortable in your skin. You are not meant to be a hormonal mess.
Yeah.
You are not meant to do that. Society makes us think that, but that's not true. It's not. Go back to nature. Go back to what you personally stand for. And Candy says a lot in the beginning of the program, this is time to be selfish. Was I able to selflessly show up for my daughter?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was I able to selflessly show up for my husband and show up for my son when he needed me, when, you know, things were a little crazy where he was stationed and he had some stress? Like, was I able to show up for him? Yes. And be a better version of myself for it.
Right.
Yeah, of course. Like the mental clarity, I was fully fed. There's no gimmicks. There's no pill. There's no, oh, I'm on the keto diet. No,
Right.
I'm not. I'm just eating so naturally and low toxin and protein rich animal-based foods,
That makes me happy.
which makes me very
Yes.
happy. And it's like a no-brainer. And people, I've gotten a few comments. It's like, oh, you look like your own younger sister. That was one of them.
Ooh,
You
that's a
look
good
like,
one.
I thought that was great. And
Yeah.
then when we went out to eat with my son, because he's home for the next
Yay.
few weeks, we went out to his restaurant, and I know some of the people there. They all know who I am. Well, not all of them, because some of them thought I was his sister and his girlfriend. Like, I know, and I was with my husband and my daughter too. Like, it was
Right.
all four of us, and I was like, I didn't expect that.
Right.
And it's like, and that's what Mike said. He's like, you should be super proud of yourself. And it's not even it. I have to give credit where it's due.
Yeah.
Well, yes, to myself, because I did it. I invested, and I was very diligent with the program. I followed it from beginning to end. I wrote down, I charted everything.
Yeah.
Even when I slipped up, even when I gained 2 pounds back, and I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, hell, my period. You know, I
Right.
made a note of it.
Yeah.
I made a note of everything. It was like, well, I ate late today. Nothing I could do. I was traveling, and I'm not going
Right.
to starve myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to fast for a whole extra day because it's 5 p.m. I'm going to go get a steak.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do that because I'm
Yeah.
not going to starve myself. And it's working with your body
Yeah.
and with your circumstance. And it's
And it's so easy to be able to
Easy.
track and to hold yourself accountable and write those notes
Yeah.
and move through this a little streamless
yeah.
and be selfish
Yeah.
because self-care
is never selfish.
Is never selfish, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And I say that every single time I'm done with my yoga classes.
Yep, I remember.
And it's so true. And the best thing is, this fly is just everywhere today. The best thing is, my clients and students will say it back to me. If I'm having a rough day, they'll say, hold on, you need to hear your own words. And I'm like, okay. And just that little bit of accountability, which it sounds like this program is full of accountability.
Very much so.
Full of education. And I believe that it is a very good thing. And you are living proof that it is obtainable and something that you can follow.
Yes. And it's, again, I've never felt, nourished is the best word.
Yeah.
I've never felt so nourished. And I'll be 42 in September. And it's like I walk around with my 19-year-old and my almost 17-year-old, and it's like, no way. And it's like, yeah. And it's because I'm choosing me. I'm choosing health.
Yeah.
I'm choosing nature. I'm choosing everything.
Yeah, don't see it as a chore.
It's not a chore.
It's not a chore.
It's me living my best life. And I recommend this to anybody, you know, teachers. I know how busy teachers are.
Yeah.
But you know how you feel when you have that student that like listened to everything you said.
Yeah.
And you have that student that grasped onto every word, and they made the changes and they did the thing, and it makes you feel super gratified as a teacher. That's how I feel about this program, and that's how I feel. I know that Candy feels about this program because it's her baby. She's done just such tremendous things, and it's only growing from here. And I hope to help be a part of that. Maybe someday.
You are.
You know,
you're helping right now. Spread the word.
So I just want people to invest in themselves. And if you don't move on, like say you do the program, the 12 weeks, you invest in yourself, you get some better sleep, you lose 15 pounds. And if you have the weight to lose, if you have an excess amount of weight to lose, maybe more.
Right.
Like some of these women have lost like so much weight, and they feel so much better and comfortable in their skins, and they're starting to sprint. This one lady, I had X, Y, and Z procedure, and she started sprinting, and she's doing it. And like, you're doing it. Like these menopausal women that thought, oh, I have my grandbabies, I'm never gonna lose this pooch, and they're losing the pooch. These women look fire.
It's amazing.
They look amazing, and anybody can do that. You can too, you know?
With a lot of hand holding.
A lot, and it's all the support's there.
Yeah.
All of it's there. She does such an amazing job, and she definitely has given you all the information, all the tools, all the supplements that you would possibly maybe need. And then whatever is not part of the curriculum, she does conferences, which I will hopefully be going to the next one. But underneath, if you keep scrolling through her stuff, at the end it says helpful YouTube videos.
Okay.
And there's a link to every single video. All these doctors who I follow anyways. I've started following a lot of them anyways because I believe in everything they're saying. I agree with them, and these are not doctors like your regular GPs anymore.
Right.
These are doctors that live this way.
Yeah.
And they all say the same things, and it's just like, and the proof, they're living proof. Like some of these doctors are in their 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and they look amazing. Like the one doctor I was telling you.
That's the kind of doctor I would like to
100%.
have. Yeah.
Like the one doctor, Dr. Sean O'Mara, like I'll give you his information. He's like 60 something. He looks like he's my age. He looks fantastic because he practices what he preaches.
Yeah.
And Candy, she's fantastic. She looks fantastic. I think she just turned 45. She's smoking hot. Smoking hot. You hear that, Candy? Smoking hot.
Hey, babe.
But yeah, so I want everybody to feel the way I do about it. And the confidence I have now. And like, you know, my husband looking at me and not being able to take his hands off me and being like, wow, like you've inspired me. You've impressed me. And then some people I see out like, wow, I didn't even recognize you. Like my whole facial structure has changed.
Right.
And it's just, I started eating right.
Yeah. Self-care. Never selfish.
Never selfish.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and
Thank you
talking
for
about
having me.
the Primal Bod. And I will link the link to the website in my podcast and her Instagram as well.
And
so
my code, put it in the show notes as well.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
code, get yourself some money off.
okay, what's your code? Tell them your
Sarah
code.
Primal, it's just SARA Primal, PRIMAL, one word. So Sarah
Sweet.
Primal. So I become an affiliate, which
Yeah.
if it gets me nothing, I don't care. I've already gotten everything I need
Yeah.
out of it. I just want to
Your
spread
results.
the word.
Yeah,
The results speak for themselves.
that's awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you again for being so passionate and coming on
Thank you
here
for
and
having me.
informing all my viewers.
Thank you for
And
having me.
Definitely. And huge thank you to the beautiful Fusion Cantina. I recommend coming here and asking for her Asian burger that she will make you. Don't think it's on the menu, but if you ask and say Sonia sent you, she'll make it for you. Have a blessed day. Mwah!